Calling all units, calling all units. Donut shot has a fresh dozen. Go ahead and take a 1040.
Hey, come here. Come here. No, bring it in real close. I got something for you. Did you subscribe yet? Right down there. Hit that subscribe button and the bell notification, because you gotta know when we're gonna give you a show. Do it. Go now. Go now. I'm waiting. Come on. Right there. All right, back to the show.
It is a pre-session lotion. This is another interesting conversation. And stop me. I know we're at an hour. This is another kind of cool, fun takeaway point, because this is about to change big time. So I'm not aware of another product that's ever come to market that is designed to prepare your skin before the tattoo. It's probably not as important as what happens afterwards, but it is still important. So what do people typically do before they get a tattoo? Most people don't do much, right?
Drink alcohol.
Yeah, right? Like rob a 7-Eleven.
Yeah.
Maybe
degenerates.
Yeah,
right. Yeah, jump on your Harley.
Teenagers. Yeah, right. I'm not aware of another product on the market that has been designed to prepare your skin. What I did with this one is create, again, with our compounding chemist that I worked with out of Florida actually. Hey, we designed something that hydrates the skin, right? Because that's obviously an important thing for maintaining healthy skin. With I won't use the word numbing, right? Because it's not numbing. It's a menthol-based natural anesthetic. Gives kind of a cooling feeling. It is not a numbing cream.
Mm-hmm.
I was considering putting a little bit of numbing agent in that pre-session lotion, but here's what I'm proposing. And again, I don't want to badmouth anybody in the industry. I am only going to speak to medical facts. Most of the tattoo numbing creams on the market have lidocaine or prilocaine in them. I think there might be one or two that have bupivacaine or marcaine. No, not marcaine. Bupivacaine. It doesn't matter. These are amide anesthetics. And they're not at insignificant concentrations. I believe the last one I saw was a lidocaine 5% cream. Here's why that's important. When I go in to cut a melanoma out of somebody's back, as I did yesterday, I know based on that person's weight how much lidocaine I can inject underneath their skin safely. Because if I go above that concentration or above that amount, I do run the risk of creating a cardiac arrhythmia. It doesn't necessarily mean heart attack, but that means an abnormal heart rhythm that can progress to essentially asystole or no heartbeat at all. I don't think I need to explain what happens there.
Not cool.
So these things do have toxicities. Here's where things get really interesting is we know as dermatologists how much we can inject based on a person's weight. And it's even been studied, if you just put so much lidocaine cream at 5% on a certain number of square centimeters on a body, how much gets into the bloodstream. So we know about how much you can use before you start to get to toxic systemic levels. But answer me this. When you take a device that has 8, 10, 15, 20 little needles that are oscillating and you poke however many holes in the skin, and somebody's putting numbing cream, lidocaine cream on there intermittently throughout that process, in that situation, how much is getting into the bloodstream?
Right.
Nobody knows.
Yeah, you could be just continually dosing it with every pierce of the skin from the tattoo gun.
Well, you are.
Yeah.
It's just to what extent we don't know.
Yeah.
And there have been anecdotal. I mean, I don't know that it's ever been actually proven with toxicology, but anecdotal people that should not have died of heart failure, the type of heart failure, arrhythmia progressing to asystole, that really had no real reason to, that have been getting big, like oftentimes back pieces using topical numbing. It's not spoken about a lot, but the FDA over the last 2 years has really started to pay attention to that. And it would not surprise me that in the next calendar year, maybe 2 years, the FDA might pull over-the-counter lidocaine 5% off, and you might start seeing some pretty big class action lawsuits with some
So
of
what
these
you're
numbing
saying,
creams.
so a guy signs up, gets a large back piece done, usually takes several hours, and over a period of several hours, they're adding into either the artist or the customer asking for it is
Hmm.
adding for this lidocaine cream or ointment to be added to while they're doing it to help with numbing to try and make things better rather than just, some guys are like, oh, give me a swig of whiskey and I'll be
Yeah,
fine.
whiskey's safer.
um yeah. So,
No, that's actually
and
not true.
unless it's too much that your blood's too thin, and then it's not good for the tattoo, right? Or is that an old wives' tale? But
That's
we'll
kind.
we'll we'll stick to my original point
Sorry.
was the lidocaine. So the lidocaine on the back. So that's what you're saying. That lidocaine being consistently used over the course of 3, 4, 5, sometimes 8 hours on a large
Mhm.
piece is putting exorbitant amounts into a person's bloodstream and in a body, and that's what's could have potentially caused a heart complication.
Potentially. I mean, again, the
Wow.
proving this is hard because a lot of times, like, let's say that you're in your example, he's a big, beefy guy, spends a lot of time in the weight room. He's always been large. Father died of a heart attack at 53.
Right.
What if that patient has hypertrophic cardiomyopathy, which is a abnormal enlargement of the heart, or was born with a congenital heart defect that was never picked up on because it was never a
Hmm.
problem? And then all of a sudden,
Right.
you start getting a systemic absorption of lidocaine to the extent that, well, nobody knows how much is actually getting into your bloodstream. We know if you're putting it under the skin with a needle, like I do, or if you're putting it on intact skin, that's been studied. What has not been studied is when you poke a million tiny holes in the skin, how much is getting through. It's probably a lot. I mean,
Wow.
at least an amount significant enough to cause that patient with hypertrophic cardiomyopathy or congenital heart problem, or I mean, you name it. It could be was it a reentry, aberrant
Yeah.
reentry? I'm not a cardiologist. There's a lot of heart problems that people might not even know they have.
Of
That all of
course.
a sudden you start introducing lidocaine. I wanted nothing to do with that. Nothing. So if you compare the effectiveness of numbing my stuff to the lidocaine based, theirs is more effective. It just is.
Yeah.
But it's probably not going to be in the market much longer. Um, and look, you just don't
Yeah.
know. I mean, we just don't know. If your tattoo's that big,
Yeah. You
that,
might
that
not
big,
you might not run into an issue.
you're not gonna run into any issues, right?
Yeah.
But you start adding surface area and application cycles, and now at what point does it become potentially cardiotoxic? We don't know.
Hmm.
So that was a
Okay.
big point.
So
So
it's
my
so,
pre-session
so
lotion
that's your
does not have
pre-care.
lidocaine. That goes on before it hydrates the skin, gives a little cooling sensation, takes a bit of the sting out. So I've been told I can't make any claims, but the one claim I will make is there's no associated toxicity.
Yeah.
Yeah, it won't harm you. Some people think it burns a little bit, so it's almost like a Bengay kind of, or icy
Yeah.
hot, like that tingling.
Yeah.
Um, all right, it's not lidocaine.
Hey, what's up, guys? If you like that clip, go over and check out the full episode at Donut Shop Podcasts. Link is down below in the description.